4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision's The Week That Was, where we cover the news and events for the week ending Friday, May 2nd. I'm Paige Ray. Thank you for joining us. Artificial intelligence has become a popular topic on Troy University's campus. Right now, the university is working to firm up its AI Forward initiative. Maddie Bagdonis has more.
AI is reshaping education across the U.S., and at Troy University, students are learning how it works and how to use it.
So the first thing you need to know is that Troy University is way ahead of everyone else with this. I mean, I often will tell people, you know, there are maybe a half dozen schools in the country that are ahead of us. I don't think it's even that number.
As AI continues to evolve, so do the ethical questions. Where's the line between help and cheating? What's fair and what's plagiarism?
And so we had rampant academic dishonesty, not just at Troy, but across the English-speaking world. We have very good research to show this. It became very bad. And so we had a real spike in students who were getting suspended and expelled for their AI use. It was a real problem.
To help students navigate AI ethically, Troy University's new initiative is aiming to make AI education a part of their curriculum. Troy University is putting itself at the forefront of innovation, providing freshman courses to learn and train on AI, which will put them a step ahead when looking for future jobs.
Starting in the fall of 2025, every incoming freshman is going to receive this in multiple classes, regardless of their major. So no matter what your major is, you're going to have some training in what we call AI the Trojan way.
Troy University is working to make sure students are not just using AI, but using it wisely. Maddie Bagdonis, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Earlier this week, Troy University announced that it will soon open its AI Center for Education and Research facility, which will be located on the Montgomery campus. Colleges around the country are facing tough choices as potential funding for support services face possible cuts. Tyron Robinson explains.
Colleges and universities may be facing possible budget cuts.
We are facing that issue currently. With the current administration, we have been told and notified that it's a possibility that student support services could lose funding.
Programs like TRIO serve as support systems for students on campus.
Student support services, which is your college students, and we also have McNair. McNair usually helps your students go to graduate programs. We are to help you graduate.
TRIO serves as a place to study and a place for support. Programs at colleges and universities, like TRIO, are at risk of losing federal funding. This closet, although it may seem small, the benefit and impact that it has on students here at Troy University is even greater. If these cuts move forward in the future, places like the Student Resource Closet will no longer be available to students. The program offers access to computers and free tutoring.
Losing this program will be detrimental to the ones that are in the program. I guess you can't say it will be detrimental to the university for the ones that are not in the program, because you can't miss what you never had.
Students also want lawmakers to understand the importance of this program.
Think about a student who has a single parent or single mom or single dad in the household, and that's the only income that they have.
Proposed cuts have not yet been confirmed by the administration, but the uncertainty remains. Tyron Robinson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And again, it is important to note that none of Troy's TRIO services have been cut. We'll continue to keep you updated. Troy University continues its legacy of hosting inspiring voices during its annual Helen Keller Lecture Series. This year's keynote speaker was retired Marine Staff Sergeant Joey Jones, whose powerful story of service, sacrifice, and perspective drew hundreds to the Claudia Crosby Theater this week. Caden Walker has his story.
On Tuesday, the Claudia Crosby Theater was filled with students, faculty, and community members for the 30th annual Helen Keller Lecture at Troy University. The featured speaker, Fox News contributor, and retired Marine Staff Sergeant Joey Jones. Jones, who served in combat both in Iraq and Afghanistan, shared his journey of resilience and purpose after losing both of his legs in an IED explosion during his final deployment. For many, his life story sounds like one of a war hero, but Jones has a different take.
A lot of people look at me and they have some sort of admiration or adulation because I lost my legs in combat and I didn't let it turn me into a negative person, I guess. I can't help but think, I don't know what it's like to have cancer or to be living with a disease that's going to take my life, or to go through a messy divorce, or lose my business, or lose my home, or lose a child. And working in the industry I work in, to report the news, I hear about those things and report on them every single day. And I think about how strong those people are that go through things that are much worse than anything I've gone through, and they don't have the aspect of being treated like a hero after the fact, like I have.
Jones spoke honestly about how his injuries have defined how others see him, but not how he sees himself. He challenged the audience to think deeper about fairness, not just in terms of adversity, but also opportunity.
Have the humility, and when things are good, to introspect and know that that you can do better. Have the fortitude to get through when things are bad, and then have resilience in between.
Students in Troy's Future Educators program were among the crowd, along with other campus groups and members of the public. Many called Jones's message inspiring and humbling. Caden Walker, Troy, TrojanVision News.
A new Hall Waters Prize recipient has been awarded. Friday, Southern author and former Alabama Poet Laureate Jennifer Horn became the latest recipient of that esteemed award. Jimmy Nichols introduces us to her.
A longtime resident of Alabama, Jennifer Horn has spent plenty of time living in and writing about the South. The majority of her works reflect Southern culture and her own Southern heritage. While these facts would make her a prime candidate to be chosen for the Hall Waters Prize, the selection came as a shock to Horn.
I was so not expecting to get this prize that I thought maybe he wanted me to introduce the person who was getting the prize. And then I reread the email and I ran in and told my husband, I'm getting the Hall Waters Prize. You could have knocked me over with a stick. I was so surprised and then so delighted.
Organizers say Horn's work embodied the definition of Hall Waters, as each story, poem, and biography she has written has a Southern theme, which is what the award is meant to recognize.
Somebody who contributes to our understanding of the South, Southern culture, Southern history, Southern people, through their writing.
With many upcoming writers on Troy's campus, Horn took time to offer wisdom to young storytellers.
I think start small. Write something. Don't try to write the world's greatest novel in one day or even 1 year. Just do something every day related to the writing life.
Horn is currently working on more poems and another short biography. More details are expected to be released at a later date. Jimmy Nichols, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Hall Waters Prize is endowed by the late Dr. Wade Hall, who is an author and Troy alum. Dr. Hall made the award in memory of his parents, Wade Hall Sr. and Sarah Elizabeth Waters. Still to come on Troy TrojanVision's The Week That Was, Troy students react to the FSU shooting. Their thoughts are on the way.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire? Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. 2 people were killed and 6 others were injured after a shooter opened fire at Florida State University last Thursday. Sarah Campbell talks to a Troy student who has a direct connection to that shooting.
My heart dropped immediately.
Several students on Troy's campus were left in shock after a mass shooting at Florida State University last Thursday left 2 people dead and 6 injured.
Most of my friends from high school ended up going to FSU. We're from that area. My first thought was I have so many people I need to reach out to talk to, just to make sure everyone's doing okay.
Williams describes the moment as terrifying, making everything all too real.
It felt horrifying in that moment, like it hit really close to home.
According to the Gun Violence Archive, the United States has seen over 80 mass shootings so far this year, including several on college campuses. With gun violence on the rise, a new fear is igniting among students. Troy University Police Department is working tirelessly to help students feel safe and protected.
Our officers are regularly training on response to this type of incident.
While specific response tactics are kept confidential, TUPD says it's doing its best to stay prepared in the case of an active shooter situation.
We never want this to happen, right? But we can't say it won't happen here. We can't put our heads in the sand. I also don't want our community to live in fear.
Beaudry explains that the best thing to do in a situation like this can be summed up in 3 easy words: run, hide, fight.
When a tragedy like that is occurring, you can't expect people to think. I like to tell people, make a little plan. When you walk into a new classroom, take a look around and think. If something bad happens and I'm here, what am I going to do?
Beaudry says that situations like this typically don't happen out of nowhere and that there are signs to look out for. If anyone notices any unusual or concerning behavior, they can do their part to help by reporting it immediately. Sarah Campbell, Troy, TrojanVision News.
TUPD says it plans to send an instructional video to all Troy users. That video will explain more about how to run, hide, and fight. It'll be sent to Troy email accounts. Taxes on importing and exporting goods. It's a topic that's created waves over the last several weeks due to the Trump administration's new regulations. U.S. and China has traded higher and higher tariffs back and forth, which saw the stock market take a dive. Since then, a pause on all tariffs was put in place, leaving some to question what's next. Will Eldridge tries to answer that question.
Tariffs, a tax on imported goods, has created a heated exchange of retaliatory tariffs between the U.S. and other countries like China. Over the last several weeks, the Trump administration has placed tariffs on countries of 10% all the way up to 145%. According to economic experts, a potential long-term increase in the price of goods will follow suit.
We're going to have a situation where ultimately consumers will be impacted. There are a lot of domestic producers that rely on international supply chains to provide low-cost goods. When it becomes more expensive for those domestic producers to import those goods, then ultimately they'll have to pass at least some of those costs on to consumers.
Dove says that China's retaliatory tariff on the U.S. is what led to the current pause on tariffs by the Trump administration.
You know, the current tariffs that we have imposed on China and the tariffs that China's imposed on the U.S., I don't think that those are sustainable in the long run. So I think that there's going to be a lot of intense negotiation over that. Obviously, we've seen, President Trump kind of walk back some of these tariffs, at least temporarily, possibly permanently. And, part of that is just, due to kind of the market reactions that we've seen.
If the tariffs do persist after the pause, Dove says the impact will have a ripple effect that will eventually hurt Troy University students.
We'll get to a point where, when students go and do their normal shopping at Walmart, they'll start to see higher consumer prices. We've already seen, some auto manufacturers begin to increase the price that they're charging for their cars. And I think that, to the extent these tariffs do persist, that'll only continue and grow over time.
Will Eldridge, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Last week, news broke that Pope Francis had passed away at the age of 88. His death made national headlines as the Catholic Church is now without a leader for the first time in over a decade. Tavares Dennis has what the next steps are for the Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church is reeling following the death of Pope Francis, a man who served as the head of the Catholic Church for 12 years.
Pope Francis was much more of a man of action. He took what his predecessors had done over the centuries and really gave it meat and bones and put it into action.
Pope Francis made history during his time in papacy. Not only was he the first pope of Latin American descent, but he also made very progressive moves for the church.
He once again kind of pointed to the church and said, go to the peripheries, go to those you don't see, go to those hurting. And that's the impact we really focused on during his papacy. I think for 12 years we really had a heart for the people that society had forgot about.
After laying Pope Francis to rest, the next step is the conclave.
The cardinals are together, they're looking at the future of the church, they're looking at the needs in various places, and they're kind of talking amongst themselves about who would be fit for the next position.
When the next pope is selected, officials at the Vatican will release white smoke as the signal. Tavares Dennis, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Still to come on the week that was, we're talking about the dangers of supporting athletes 24/7. We'll have that story when we return.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
They're people fans cheer on, stand by, and sometimes idolize. We're talking about student athletes. But what some fans think is showing support or constructive criticism can actually be harming their favorite athletes. Mackenzie Bryant explains.
While many fans can tell you the name and number of the players on their favorite teams, they often don't know anything about the athlete's life itself. Sports are one of the main sources of entertainment in America, and sometimes fans do not remember that athletes have lives off the field.
Teaching fans that these are real people that are just students doing something that they love to do.
Social media has created a space where fans can be seen and heard by athletes, and it's not always in a positive way.
I think teaching individuals how to manage their emotions, right, on both sides of the phone. The fans put a lot of pressure on these kids.
While an athlete's physical ability to be able to run, throw, or catch the ball is important, their mental well-being has an impact on their performance as well.
It can really affect their moods, their abilities to make daily decisions, and there's no repercussions for the person that makes those comments. So it's really an unfair system, you know, and if I could get rid of it all, I probably would.
And a little advice for fans who think about reaching out to the athletes from their favorite team.
Be kind, and if you have constructive criticism, make sure that you offer it in the right way.
Mackenzie Bryant, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Remember, counseling services are available to all Troy students. Those services are free and confidential. In a world dominated by big brands, one local creator is stitching her own path. She's turning heads with clothing that aims to be as unique as the people who wear it. Simon Brown has more.
When creativity meets craftsmanship, the result can be inspiring. Laney Kelly, a creator with Student Made, isn't just making clothes, she's creating art.
I've always been super artsy when I was little. My grandma taught me how to sew, so that was just really one of my small little things I like to do whenever I was little. And then I kind of fell off a little bit in high school. I didn't really do a whole lot of things, but I started my small business around the COVID area, so it really took off my sophomore year of high school. And I just started doing embroidery, things like that.
Kelly not only sews and embroiders all of her clothing by hand, she also has other items for sale in the Student Made store.
I create kind of a lot of different things. I mainly do like the birthday banners, the art paper banners. You could find my game day buttons and paintings. I just do little random paintings that'll be here as well.
Some say part of being authentic is giving credit where credit is due. Kelly explained the impact that Student Made has had on her small business as well as her personal life.
I don't know where I'd be right now with my business if it wasn't for Student Made. If anyone doesn't know, all of our products, they don't take any money out of it. So if someone buys something for $5, I get all $5 back. So it's really helpful for me, especially, college student budget, getting some extra money on the side, but also being surrounded by a whole different family and community that's similar to myself.
In a world of fast fashion, Kelly is slowing things down, one handmade piece at a time.
Over the weekend, many laced up their sneakers and hopped on their bikes to honor the memory of Owen Wayne Lewis. Lewis unexpectedly passed away from I'll come back to that. Can we redo this one? Okay, cool. We're going to skip that because the way they have it phonetically spelled really threw me off. I'm just going to ad-lib this, okay? This past weekend, several grabbed their bikes and hit the track for a ride dedicated to two Troy professors' son. Owen Wayne Lewis passed away a few years ago, but his memory carries on. Simon Brown explains.
Tents, bicycles, and dinosaurs were all present on the quad for the third annual Owen Wayne Lewis Memorial Bike Ride. Dr. Heather Lewis, Owen's mother, reflected on how she believes her son would have reacted to the event.
It 1000% replicates him. He loved dinosaurs, he loved bounce houses, he loved the color blue. He just loved being outside, and the weather today is absolutely beautiful, and I feel like part of him is making that happen. To date, we've never, I'm gonna knock on some wood, but we've never had rain on this event. And so I truly believe that he's up there helping us to have a beautiful day, an amazing event, and he would love this.
While some participants took to walking and riding around campus, some riders took a lengthier approach. Between 8 and 9 a.m., some riders embarked on 64, 45, and 34-mile bike rides across Pike County. The younger generation also had the chance to participate by racing around the quad.
I think something that makes this event so special is how it brings the community together. It's something that needs to be done more. Troy's a small town, but we don't know everyone. So having this community is amazing.
This year, Lewis aims to achieve a big goal from the proceeds of the event.
So our scholarship here at Troy University, we're actually hoping from the proceeds of this event to actually endow our scholarship, and that way it will live on forever with the university. But it is for first-generation college students majoring in human services, social work, and then hospitality, tourism, and event management, which are the programs that my husband and I both teach out of.
The Owen Wayne Lewis Memorial Bike Ride is not just about miles traveled, but about a life celebrated and remembered. Simon Brown, Troy, TrojanVision News.
For those who want to donate to O's Cool Bike Ride Foundation, viewers can visit www.oscoolbikefoundation.org. If you'd like to donate directly to the Owen Wayne Lewis Memorial Scholarship, visit troy.edu. Wednesday, the International Day of Dance was celebrated around the world and including right here in Troy. Simon Brown learns how one local dance teacher took the celebration to the next level.
Patty Rutland Simpson has had a 41-year career teaching dance. By founding two dance studios in Dothan, Alabama, Simpson aims to display the importance of the arts in education and to display diversity through creative expression.
I've always said when you invest in the arts with children, you'll never know the reward, because children dance before they walk. Children love music before they talk. So it's conducive for a better learning environment, and the children are exercising and knowing what the arts are all about.
Simpson utilized outreach programs funded by the Pike County Board of Education to send her dance teachers to local elementary schools. The goal was to teach students the importance of art and how to dance. Those same students got the chance to perform on the field of Veterans Memorial Stadium.
I just love that some of them catch on so quickly with it. They've never had it before, but you can see that light spark in them that they want to dance, and they kind of find that next level of passion.
For 11-year-old Brooks Taylor, dancing on the field was more than a performance. It was a chance to display his talent.
My favorite dance is probably Poems, my duo, because I just like the audience because everybody was excited to do the dance. And one thing that I really liked was just how everybody contributed to all the dances.
Simpson's message has always been that dance is for everybody. Simpson believes that we're not all the same, but can find community and unity through dance.
Although Simpson plans to retire, she says she will still be involved in her dance studio's operations. Next on Trojan Vision's The Week That Was, it is almost time for final exams. We'll see how students are feeling when we return.
We all dream, but dreams quickly become distant memories unless we do something about it. Do everything in our power to learn to lead. At Troy University, we offer leadership opportunities from day one. We're dedicated to teaching a new generation to lead change. Do you have what it takes to change the world?
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
As the semester starts winding down, students are preparing for late nights of studying for final exams. Neela Cole has how students are preparing for finals and advice from a professor.
Before summer festivities can start, students have to complete their final task that comes at the end of every semester. As finals week approaches, students are using this time to ensure that they will receive a passing grade.
I've been doing a lot of studying using a digital software called musictheory.net. I've also been spending a lot of time here in the library with my friends, and I've just been really locking into all my classes.
One thing that I try to prioritize is my time management. So whenever I know that I have free time, I go to the library, or sometimes in my room to be comfortable, I get on Quizlet or I write out all of my answers.
I'm just going over like my math lab, doing like the assignments over and over again. And then, she's set up like a review like Tuesday, that's our last class. So.
While some students study somewhere on campus like the library, upstairs Trojan Center, and empty classrooms, they also study off campus for a different scenery.
I love going to Sorrel Chapel. It's kind of like a quiet place to go. And I also just like studying, at a local coffee shop. I like going to Fuse Coffee a lot to go and study. It's a really nice time.
With each passing day getting closer to exam time, professors encourage students not to wait until the last minute to study.
Take it seriously. You do study. Get good sleep. Get to class early and be prepared. And don't panic. If you don't like the first question on an exam, go to the second. And just try to relax as much as you can.
For free peer tutoring, study support, and consultations, students can visit the Learning Center in 126 Eldred Hall. Neela Cole, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
And that's all the time we have for Trojan Vision's The Week That Was. To see what's happening on a daily basis, tune in to Troy Trojan Vision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday. You can also visit us anytime on our website at today.troy.edu/TrojanVision. Until we see you again,